Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. What I'm going to do is, this is the last one of these enclosures. You probably seen me rehouse certain items in these enclosures over the past year, and I'm now taking everything out of these enclosures and using them purely for terrestrial. They do work well for some fossorial species if you want, but due to the way they live, it's not the best, and this is clear all the way around, so I want to use it for a terrestrial. And then I'm going to put this item into this enclosure, which is really good. So that's the arboreal ones, but they work brilliantly for the fossorial spiders as well. But what's in here, you can't see on top, is the Ceratogyrus Marshalli, the straight-horned baboon. And this is a subadult female. I'm not sure how big she is, but she's molted again a couple of months ago at the front, and she pulled her molt back in. This is a very good species to have, but you don't see it a lot. With this, I keep them at about 24 to 25, maybe 26. They can handle probably 27, 28 quite easily, but I keep them around about 24, 25 Celsius. And moisture, I'd say no more than 65% humidity. Probably I even go less than that. Like, I literally have not put any water in this for 3 months, I think. And you can see the substrate is still dark brown, so it holds a bit of moisture, but if I was to squeeze this, nothing would come out of it, but it still holds a little bit of moisture. I've got a water dish in there as well, which I just let dry out because I've never seen this one go to the water dish. But they obviously do get their water from their prey items. But with this, because it's basically a pet hole, unless you don't overfeed them. If you feed them too much, you will never see this tarantula. If you feed them for a bit, so I give them bigger prey items so they hold a bit more bulk, but I find that she'll still come up every week and sit at the front and put her legs at the front. And I do actually see this girl out and about in the evening sometimes, but I know now that I fed her up enough after the last molt that I won't see her now for potentially a couple of months. So I stop feeding altogether until I see her feet out the front. That means the abdomen shrinks down, it shrinks down, but it means I can see the spider and then take better care and notice if anything's different, because overfeeding, it will never come out. Literally never. So what I'm going to do is we're going to tip this out and we're going to have a look at her and see how she is, and then put her into that enclosure like I said. So I'm probably going to put a tub up here just so I could tip out the substrate, because I will reuse this substrate because she's just webbed up inside in a chamber and she's done really well in there. No idea how big she is. I think they get around about 5 inches. I don't think they actually reach 6. Potentially they could do, but I think comfortably they get around about 5. And these are from Africa, so Zimbabwe and Mozambique, so they're around that locality. They probably do spread out a little bit more, but I'm talking too much. Let's tip this out and have a look at her. Right, so I think you guys can see from there's her entrance, and she's actually put a couple of web strands across, so she's actually fed and she's okay. So I expect a threat pose from this one as soon as we see her. I'm not expecting her to run too far, but let's just try and see where she is. Right, let's speed this up. Just going to remove the entrance and that piece of cork bark. I'm going to try and reuse that again in her new enclosure. And then I'm just going to try and see where she is. So remove the actual front of her hole. Remove any of the prey items that are left, like any of the boluses. Just clean up the substrate, because I'm going to reuse this again. So you can see that I'm just skimming through here. You didn't need to see this in slow time. Doing the same around her entrance, removing the webbing because I'm going to obviously use the substrate, just clean it through. And then I'm going to try and start to find where she is, because she's got 2 chambers. I know you can't see that here. There's one to the right and there's one to the left, so I just have to adjust this round. I think I've got a rough idea of where she is, so now I'm just going to start slowly taking out the top layer and work my way down and then reposition, because I have no idea if she's going to dart out somewhere. Sometimes she's calm, sometimes she isn't. I've got a rough idea where she is now, so I'm just breaking down the top layers of substrate and I finally see her there. So let's just try and slow this footage back down again. Right, there she is. She's so camouflaged just here. I need to see if I can get her out a bit better. just slide this under nice and easy. There we go. Just want to keep her as calm as I can. So there we have her. So she's got plenty more growing to do. I'm not sure how big she is. She's definitely 4 inches. That coloration, I love the blacks on the yellow there, but she was really, really calm. So let me set up her new enclosure and then we'll have a look at her. So there we have her. No threat display, really chilled. And I'm not sure, you can see the horn, there you go. So you can see the unicorn horn. And they still don't understand what they actually have this, what purpose this means for them. It's not been seen like they're using it. They've got no idea with it at the minute. And obviously there's very different variations of this horn. You've got one that comes forward, back. There's one that actually on another species that comes quite far back down the carapace. But they are stunning. So let's see if I can get her in without her running off. Come on. Look at that, absolutely stunning. And she is very plump, but super, super chilled. So I won't be surprised if she looks like she's going into molt again, but I swear she molted a couple of months ago. Absolutely stunning. So I definitely don't need to feed her for some time. So I'm just going to see if I can leave her for a couple of days and then see if we can come back and see if she's webbed up the front. But absolutely beautiful. So that was a quick rehouse there. Got her all in this enclosure and you can see that the substrate is a lot moister for her now. So I'm going to give it a day or so, let her settle down, see if she webs up the entrance, moves the soil around, and then what I'll do is I'll put a water dish in there as well, and I'll leave that on top, but she'll just literally just cover that up. She never really uses it, but I'll still put one in there anyway. But she's got enough moisture within that substrate now, and I've done it right up to the top there, just below the air holes, and she's actually sat there at the minute, so she's very, very chilled. But as soon as I turn the light off in there, make it dark, she'll start burrowing down and then probably go all the way down, which is what they like to do in the wild. They like to go right down deep. So I've given her more substrate. So quick rehouse. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one.